Thank you, Mr. President. You're looking for Republican help on the economic proposals that you unveiled this week, and you also mentioned the small business bill, but you're at odds with them over tax cuts. Is there room for a middle ground whereby, for example, the tax cuts on the wealthy could be extended for a period of time and then allowed to expire?
Well, certainly there's going to be room for discussion. My hope is that on this small business bill that is before the Senate right now, that we actually make some progress. I still don't understand why we didn't pass that 2 months ago. As I said, this was written by Democrats and Republicans. This is a bill that traditionally you'd probably get 90% or 100% Republican support.
We've been listening to a presidential news conference, the first full one since May, with President Obama at the White House this morning, and we'll continue to follow it and update you in the KTSA 24-hour newsroom on what else the president has to say and what other questions are addressed to him. We're going to get started with our Gang of Four here on a Friday morning and welcome them in and kick around the big stories of the morning and the week with them and with you. You can jump right in at 599-5555 on this Friday, September 10th, 2010. On the gang today, she is a public relations and advertising executive and a 2009 mayoral candidate, Trish DeBerry-Mejia. Welcome back to Gang of Four.
Thanks, Jack. Good to be
have
here.
You with us. What is new with you?
What is new? I was in New York last week. A lot of fun. And kids are back in school like I talked the last time I was here, although my son woke up and told me he had a sore throat, so I don't know if that means we already have bugs that are being circulated. Not sure about that.
Oh, yeah, that starts
comes,
immediately.
Exactly. That comes with the territory. Work is busy, working on the SAISD bond election, so, yeah, good stuff.
All right, Trish DeBerry-Mejia on the gang today. I thought Annie Lennox was on Gang of Four today because Elaine Wolff is rocking a new, very short, help me describe it, Trish, kind of frosted blonde, Mia Farrow, circa 68 kind of look.
It's very New York,
Yeah.
but it's very becoming.
Thank you very
You're
much.
welcome.
I know my mom thinks I'm just having sort of an early midlife crisis.
this-
I left my job at the Current.
This
I
is a
changed my
woman's
hair
red
color
convertible,
radically.
I guess, right?
What
She's
I like
calling me a
about-
lot more often to check in on me.
Well, and let's just say there are not many people that could wear that haircut and look really good.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Well, it looks great, and Elaine Wolff's the former editor of the San Antonio Current, and now, what would we say, freelance journalist?
writer, exactly.
Yeah,
Freelance
and full-time
journalist.
mom and all that good stuff. You were going up to Minnesota, was it, last time
I'm
we
going up.
talked?
Yeah, I'm going up next week actually
going
to go
up
visit
there,
my
okay.
daughter up there, which should be fun. I think it's about 78 degrees in the daytime tops and 40 degrees at night.
Lovely. She's going to college
I'm
up
pulling
there,
out
or
the
she's
Puerto
working up there?
She's with Teach for America, which is
Okay.
the
great
inner city
program.
teaching program, right? And so she's working at an elementary school up there for the next.
right.
Yeah, she's discovered that first graders, total news break here, but do not have a lot of impulse control.
Yeah. Imagine that.
Yes. We can talk more about
Yes.
that if you'd like. In fact, I'm sure Kevin can bring that up, too.
Oh, sure.
Kevin Joyce is a pastor here in San Antonio. He first came to our attention when he was written up in the Express News for, at the time, holding church services at a movie theater. I forget which one it was.
Right, Imagine Fellowship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, which movie theater was that?
That was the Palladium IMAX
Right.
off of I-10-1604.
And you do something called Fractals now.
Yeah,
What
now
is that?
It's a decentralized church is what it is. It doesn't meet necessarily on Sunday. Groups meet throughout the week, depending upon their leader and where they're
Small
at.
groups,
Yeah.
people's houses.
Yep. Yeah, it depends.
So what do you do? I mean, how do you oversee
Well,
all
I
that?
teach,
or?
yeah, if you go to fractals.tv, you can actually see the sermons right there, and they use that as a resource.
Oh,
and
okay.
then I just help the leaders, make sure anything that's going on with them, I can help them out.
So it's like the Amway of religion.
Someone else explained it to me like that, but it's funny. If you look back,
I mean that respectfully.
No.
Yeah.
I totally get it. My dad's a businessman, and he said the same thing. But at the same time, Jesus did the same thing, with 12 guys,
There you
and
go.
then they went off and did their own thing, and then, same thing. So
He couldn't be everywhere, and neither
Right.
can Kevin Joyce.
No, definitely
All right.
not.
Just
We're
don't
glad-
call it a pyramid scheme.
But
That's right.
really. We're glad he's on. We're glad he's on Gang of Four. Well, we have a lot to talk about. Of course, a lot going on, including another pastor making the news, and we'll talk about him and what's going on with that. KTSA News Time is 10:26. Jack Riccardi 10 to 1 on News Talk 550 KTSA and online at ktsa.com. On the Gang of Four today, Kevin Joyce, Elaine Wolff, Trish DeBerry-Mejia, And I just realized we have an all-blonde gang of 4. That's kind of strange.
Is that a first?
I mean, hey, it means it's going to be a fun show.
I was going to say, as long as they don't have any blonde moments. All right, look, I heard one of you say it off the air, and it's undoubtedly true. Has there ever been a better media mastermind? I mean, a guy playing the media like Charlie Daniels plays the fiddle, than this pastor Terry Jones.
Well, the saga continues, right? I mean, it goes from that to like, hey,
you
then
should
there was
hire
this,
him, Trish. I don't think you probably want to have him around, but I mean,
this
guy knows what he's doing.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a little pickier than that, Jack.
I understand.
I'd like to be able to say. But yeah, I mean, he does. When you talk about playing him like a fiddle, I mean, the media's dancing all around him, and whatever he says, they're covering. And Elaine and I were talking about this. I mean, now we're actually negotiating with him.
Yeah.
Wait, and Elaine made the point. She was like, because I didn't think we negotiated with terrorists, and she said, nor do we negotiate with morons. I mean, it's ridiculous at this point, the amount of not only national but international coverage. I mean, but if you wanted to go away, ignore him.
At what point did this story need to be, or could this story have been ignored? A lot of people say that the first sort of salvo, and it was surprising to people, was General Petraeus, who I think we all regard as a very serious, highly respected guy, whatever our politics, opining from over there that this could be bad for the troops. Was that a mistake, are you saying, maybe, Elaine?
Yeah, I think, because first of all, I don't think this guy is a great media mastermind, a great fiddle player. I just think, the fiddle's really easy to play right now. So, and everybody jumped on it.
It's a beginner fiddle.
It's a beginner fiddle, exactly. Ukulele. But Petraeus, I think, probably made a mistake in making that kind of level of statement. But also, you had, the leader of the largest evangelical organization in the world makes a personal call to this guy, and then that becomes a big story in the major papers as well. So there were a whole bunch of people, I think, who paid attention at a level where they could have handled it completely differently. The evangelical organizations could have organized a day of prayer and peace in opposition and just publicly disclaimed the guy and handled it like that, essentially marginalizing him instead of giving him a stage to stand on.
Kevin, the word interfaith and dialogue, we hear that a lot. Right now the big thing is, that people of different faith communities need to be talking to each other and respecting each other. And I don't know, maybe in that spirit, people thought, hey, let's not be dismissive. Let's let's communicate. Whereas in the past, this would have been seen kind of like that Westboro Baptist Church. I mean, they burned Qurans years ago. It's on YouTube. And nobody talked about it. Nobody cared about it.
Yeah, it may just be a setting of the time. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Especially, and it's again this September 11th. I mean, it's all this, hey, this is a time of healing, and still, people are still healing from that. September 11th is a big day for America to heal and all that kind of stuff. And I think it's like, the media just really took it out of proportion. And then all these players, these big players like General Petraeus and all these guys, it's just like, whoa, it's way. It's just falling for somebody else to do the same thing. The next guy that's going to do it, are we going to cover the same?
Yeah.
Or I don't know. This could go on forever.
And when authority figures speak out against what is seen as an act of rebellion or insurgency or whatever, then you make that even more appealing. It's sort of like when the Supreme Court is going to rule on this Westboro Baptist Church and their right to protest at military funerals. I've been saying I think they would love to have the Supreme Court rule against them, because now they get elevated from right now they're just religious kooks. Now they become these martyrs of the First Amendment. And so in a weird way, the more the authority figures or the establishment rails against what you're doing, it sort of lends a veneer of respectability to it that it wouldn't otherwise have. Like people feel compelled to defend it.
You automatically give him credibility.
Yeah.
I mean, when Petraeus weighed into the conversation, all of a sudden it becomes a national security risk. So it becomes that much more newsworthy. And as a result, like you said, it gives him that much more credibility. He was, his congregation, Kevin, is 50 people.
Right.
He's kind of he's this great media character in the respect that it's this small town and what he's talking about, but it really it was kind of the overreaction to the whole thing, and that's kind of what we talked about. As a local example, when we talked about the smoke-free ordinance, and then you had it come into play that it was racist all of a sudden. The pro-smoking folks were like, what are we going to do to combat this? I said, this thing is going to play itself out. You know what I mean? Because the more we react to it, the more credibility you give those folks. So that's exactly what's taking place.